Hey guys, so today I want to simplify nutrition for you. I want you to understand if you follow these three main focuses that any diet you choose can and will work for you. There's too much misinformation out there and people trying to sell products that are either low carb, low fat, or fancy detoxes. All of those things have to apply to these three focuses in order for you to lose weight. So I'm going to go through that today with this handy whiteboard and help you understand how and why you lose weight so you can do it simply with the foods you love. Now, the first thing is these three focuses have to happen in every single diet for them to work. So to understand that, the first rule that has to apply in order for you to lose weight in any way, shape, or form is you must consume less calories than you need every single day. Understand that food is just a form of energy. Body fat is excess energy you once consumed that you didn't need for that day. So your body chose to store that as body fat. So in order to lose that, you need to consume less energy in one day, so your body is forced to find that excess gap in energy from your body fat. So once you understand that, you realize dieting isn't too hard, it's about balancing an energy equation. So to help understand that, here's a little graph for you. Now the little dotted line throughout the middle represents your maintenance calories, the amount of energy that if you consume, you'll stay the same weight the entire time. Anything above this is too much energy or a surplus, and sad face, then ends up meaning you gain weight. This is where unfortunately a lot of people just have a little too much of those foods they love, and that too much energy is what makes them get fat. It's not like you have different stores for when you eat chocolate and pizza, it goes to fat stores, and you eat chicken and broccoli, it goes to the muscles. That's not how it works. It's excess of either of these ends up becoming fat. Now anything below this line, smiley face, that's how you lose weight. Anything below your maintenance means that you're going to have to burn body fat to make up for that excess of energy. And the further and further you go down here, the faster and faster you're going to lose weight. But however, the caveat does mean, you've all done a starvation diet before, is if you put your calories too low too quickly, you're going to feel unhappy, you're going to have no energy, and you're going to feel like crap and want to stop that diet. So that's your first and most important rule. If that rule doesn't happen, you lose no weight whatsoever. Now the second one is adequate protein. Now the reason we need this is protein just isn't about building those muscles that we love, but it's also about many different hormonal processes throughout your body, enzymes and reactions that keep you alive, your hair, your skin, your nails. And then, so you need to keep this up in order to maintain those healthy levels and to maintain that muscle mass. No one wants to be a skinny string bean by the end of it. Now, it's also good because it's what's called thermogenic. You've probably heard it a million times before, that eating protein builds your metabolism. It does. Just think about it. How hard is it to break down a piece of chicken breast in comparison to a piece of bread? It's a much harder process. Your body essentially has to break these things down when we eat them. So that's what allows you to stimulate metabolism more, because it's hard to get energy from it. And the third one you have to address is your micronutrients. This is your vitamins, your minerals, and your fiber, or your fruits and veggies. Your parents told you to eat them as kids for a reason, because they are good for your long-term health. Any diet plan you pick up is generally going to have fruits and vegetables in it somewhere, or ground up in some kind of form of a supplement that costs you $1 million and makes you broke. So those three rules, if you follow them, it doesn't matter what diet you do that with, even if it's having chocolate with protein shakes and multivitamins, that's going to mean you lose weight and you cover all these. That's not the most optimal one, but those three focuses will get you there. So now I'm going to simplify it with a 3-step way to program meals for you that is going to hit all these three focuses, allowing you to lose weight and simplify it. So 80% of the time it should come from what you think is healthy foods, and 20% of the time should be those enjoyable foods you love. Now to simplify it, 3 steps whenever you're creating any meal. The first step is you're going to need a protein source. Now the most common protein source you think of are your lean meats. So obviously you've got lean beef, chicken breast, kangaroo, fish, seafood, like prawns and calamari. You've also got things like turkey, such things like that. You want 150 grams of cooked weight. This is simply going to get you roughly 30 grams of protein. If you're eating 3 meals a day, that's around 90 grams of protein. The larger you are, the more you're going to need. But remember, this is trying to keep it simple for you and not confuse you. 2 other options if you're not into the meats much is you could have 40-gram scoop of protein powder. That's going to get you 30 grams. Or 150 grams of your Chobani yogurt. That's going to get you protein as well if you're not inclined to have meat at every meal. Now the second part of that meal is going to be your carbohydrates. Now you start at the higher end of 200 grams of cooked weight of these, and as you stall out and weight loss stops, you lower it down on your way down to 100 grams. Or even at some points you can remove these from that meal to allow you more treats, or to allow you double the amount in another meal. So things such as rice, pasta, oats, quinoa, potato and sweet potato, 100 to 200 grams of cooked weight of these is a good source. Now you can always use bread, which are roughly 2 slices of the same amount of carbohydrates, or 50 grams of crackers, cereal, or some ice cream. Also some other options for carbohydrates. Yes, I'm including crackers, ice cream, and chips in this because you've got to understand flexibility is what matters. So you've got yourself 150 grams of cooked meat, you've got yourself 100 to 200 grams of your carbs. Well, what do you do to fill yourself up? This is where fiber, veggies, and micronutrients come in. I call them volume foods because essentially the reasons these foods are so good at filling you up and not making you fat, allowing you to lose weight, is because they're mainly water. Just water, vitamins, and minerals. You'll know, you hear it before, things such as carrots and cucumbers are like 97% water. That's pretty much true for most of these. Fiber, water, and some vitamins. So these are just a few. If you want more in-depth breakdown of this, I'll put a link to my email newsletter. You can sign up and I'll give you a free copy of some ebooks that have a full complete list of these foods and the exact quantities if it's not too easy to see on the whiteboard. But a few ones off the top that most clients generally enjoy are things such as zucchinis, mushrooms, lettuce, tomato, broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, cucumber, and carrot. They're all what I call volume foods, and you should consume as much of them to make yourself full. Because simple little example that for 1 slice of bread, you could eat 1.5 kilos of mushrooms for the same amount of energy. Now remember, your goal is to get you the amount of energy you're consuming every day down to lose that weight. So I'm not telling you to eat 1.5 kilos of mushrooms, I'm just explaining that for the same amount as 1 slice of bread, you could use the same amount of energy as a whole 1.5 kilos of mushrooms. Now you may only eat 200 grams of mushrooms, which means that's the same as having a tiny little bite out of your bread. So that's how you can get your energy down, with these foods being the smarter way to do so. So that's how simple it can be. Everyone overcomplicates it. You just simply pick one from each list. You could go, let's have some lean beef, let's have some pasta, and let's throw in tomato and onion with a little bit of sauce. Dinner done. Then you go, all right, I'm gonna have chicken breast, and we're gonna have some Singapore noodles, and we're gonna have mushroom and zucchini. Bam, another meal done. It's not that complicated. The key though to losing weight is about getting these portions in order, that only having 150 grams of cooked weight meat, only having 200 grams of the carbs, and as much of the fibrous veggies as you want. Watching out how much sauce you add to things and liquid calories. But before I go into all those other ones, that was a nice simplified way of getting you to understand how you lose weight. So it's not so complicated. How you can distinguish between all the bullshit out there that's trying to tell you they've got some fancy way around losing weight. It's all bullcrap because it has to comply to this rule. If it doesn't make you consume less energy every day, it's not going to work. There's no fancy hormone ways around it. There's no low carb is the way. There's no low fat is the way. Both of them work simply because they make you eat less energy. Less carbs, less energy. Less fat, less energy. So don't get caught up in thinking it's so complicated. It's really about reducing that energy slightly, having a smarter way of setting out your meals so you make sure you get your protein and stuff in throughout the day. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, please make sure to share it around, like it, so I know what you want more of. If you've got any questions to clarify, put it in the comments below, and I'll also have a link to my email list so you can get a hard copy of this and refer to it anytime you need for help with your nutrition. Any personal questions, my email address will be below and you can send me a link. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. See you all next time.